Hello everybody and welcome on into Sidelines, presented by Visit Potter Tioga. I'm Drew Patrick. On today's show, we talk with Bobby Curry and Dylan Mercedes about the baseball season thus far. Plus, we talk about Track's opening weekend with Aaliyah Serrano and Sean Ringgold. And welcome back to Sidelines. Let's talk baseball. Now, is joining me at the desk, Bobby Curry, Dylan Mercedes. Thank you both so much for stopping by.
Appreciate you for having us.
So let's talk about this past week. Of course, the weather here forces those games to East Stroudsburg, a tough opponent. Let's talk about that win because you both contributed in that one. Take me through that at-bat, that home run. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah. So just throughout that whole at-bat, even before the at-bat, I seen Shea was in a position where he could tie the game up right now with just a single anything. So I just made sure within his at-bat, I was encouraging him, making sure he got his job done, that he had faith in himself. The same way when I was in the box, I was like, all right, let's see what the pitcher's pattern is right now. So as long as I stay within myself and I get this opportunity, then I know what to do with it. Because even last year as a freshman, I was in the same position. I was in a point where I have a chance to tie the game, and it was just history repeating itself. So once I see my pitch, I ain't waste no time with it, seeing it in the air, and just ran. It felt good knowing that my team had faith in me, and I just had the same faith in myself. So it was just gonna contribute for the team.
And Bobby, take me through your innings.
It was good. So I actually came in for one batter, and it was in a really tough position, and I ended up walking him up for it on like 6 pitches or so. But it was at a really crucial time, and then that game we actually ended up taking the loss. But it was like it was tough out there, and it felt good to like get out there under pressure and stuff like that.
And then I want to go a week before with you two, because that was another crucial game on a home game there up in Corning, where it was kind of a battle there, and you were being chirped a little bit sometime. But what do you have to do to maintain your composure there on the mound when, yeah, you're getting chirped and you're going to probably have that all year, but to be able to have those steady innings that you did?
Yeah, it's definitely, you can like hear it and stuff like that, but the best thing to do is just like block it out and stuff like that, and like just work with your pitcher and catcher. And if you just do that, then that shouldn't, like, everything else shouldn't like really play a factor. So like just staying locked in and focused, and that really helped out the most.
So how do you guys approach the mindset of, you know, when you get the news that you're going to play all these games on the road at East Stroudsburg, does the mindset then have to change to prepare for a long road stretch like that?
Yeah, ideally, like, you have to adjust to, all right, we're not the home team no more, so we're going to somebody else's home. Even if we're being the home team, we have to adapt to their environment. Because whether or not, we're still playing the game of baseball, so we don't try to let it be a huge factor to how we perform or how we play that day. We try to make sure, all right, we got to get the cards we're dealt with. We're going to go to their home and play all our games, and we got to do that.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of like, it plays like little roles, like, because we're traveling, so it's not like a 2-minute drive, we're going right there. But other than that, like, it's still the same game in baseball, and we both get like it's both fair for everybody, so yeah.
How much does because obviously East Stroudsburg was a turf, Corning was turf, Chayute's not turf. So how does that play into strategy, either at the plate or pitching? Does that kind of play at all in strategy for you guys? Yeah,
because with the type of field you play on, like with turf, you know everything's going to be a lot more fast, everything's going to skip more compared to a dirt field where certain spots or certain people where they hit it is going to die out a little bit, and then just the traction of it. When you're running on turf, it's just flat, it's flat surface. Compared to a dirt field, you got to stay more on your toes, especially in Shea, you got to stay on your toes a lot on it.
Yeah, so fielders definitely play a role with like how they play the ball off the turf and stuff like that. And hitters, like, I would say, like, also like air and like weather plays a role too, with like how the ball goes and like where the wind's blowing and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely like all around, like everything will play a role.
So looking forward to this week, it's a non-conference opponent scheduled for another long road trip. But hey, at this point, you guys have really had to take the longest road trips of the year thus far that you're going to take, so that shouldn't be a problem at this point.
Not at all. It's the same thing like I said before. As long as you channel in with some headphones or got somebody to talk to, you're just on the bus knowing that, we're taking this long road trip to go play some baseball. But at times, like you said, it does feel good to wake up in your own dorm or your own facility and just have the whole day within yourself compared to, we got to be on the other person's schedule and we got to make sure we're on their time and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree with what he said, definitely.
So with this game in a non-conference game, obviously you take every game important, but what are some of the things that allow you to focus on in a non-conference opponent? And we talked about this the last time you were on, but Bobby, I guess for you too, what are some of the things against a non-conference opponent that you are allowed to focus on and kind of play with more than you would a conference game?
Yeah, since it totally doesn't like count towards playoffs or anything like that in conference, you can get like maybe some new guys out there and like see like if there's anything that was like not going right, like see how they perform and stuff like that. And then you could also like try like new pitch sequencing. Like there's a lot of things that you can try out that's new. So it's definitely good to like once in a while play like at a conference game and see where we're at with that stuff.
So the other thing that I want to bring up, Dylan, is you have been kind of the energizer bunny, so to speak, with the team. You seem excited and you seem like you have your love for baseball again, and it shows and it protrudes. What this season, if there's something specifically, has led to just the outpouring of that love of baseball?
So if a lot of people don't know, last year I probably had a very crucial season injury where I had a blood clot in my arm, and just me having that and being locked down where I can't play baseball, I can't compete out there with my guys, it really gave me a little reality check. Like, you could be on top of the world, but one thing could just put you down to the bottom. But even when you're at the bottom, it's more so, how can I come up from this situation and make the best out of it? When I was out for the season, all I thought about was, how can I get better and get healthier so when I'm back out there with my team, I could just compete out there and have that love for it. And another reason too about it is one of my best friends' name is Edwin back home. He, rest in peace, he passed away not too long ago. And me and him, we had the same love we have for baseball. We're on the field, we're dancing, we're just in the game all the time. So his passing really told me, life is too short to take this game for granted. Every time I step on the field, I say my prayer, or if there's music on the field, I just like dancing, because baseball is like an escape from everything in the world. Like when I'm on a baseball field, that's where I could genuinely be myself, I could express myself. Because a lot of the times we're in a world where you get judged for trying to be yourself or just to be who you are. But when you're in a baseball field, it's like, whoever I am as a baseball player, I'm going to show you on the field too.
Absolutely. Wow, and hey, it shows. I'm sure when you have a teammate like that who's feeding you guys, especially on the mound, when you have that feed, what does that do for your mentality as well?
Yeah, it's the best. You have somebody that just loves, like you said, it's like an escape for him, and you always see him dancing and stuff, and you just remember he's just doing it to have fun. Like, it's who he is. He loves just having fun, and it definitely brings like energy to the team and stuff like that. And like since we're in the same like class, like it definitely plays a role, so it helps a lot. Like without him, I don't know. You definitely need somebody like Goya on your team, 100%.
Well, keep that excitement going the rest of the way. Thank you guys both so much.
For sure. To all athletes, whatever you do or the work you put into your craft, it's not a game or a competition. You're not having fun with it. Just keep working on your craft and just have fun with it always. Big smile.
Sir.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not go anywhere.
It's all part of Mother Nature's perfect blend, the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter Tioga, a 2-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
Welcome back to Sidelines. Let's talk track and field. Is joining me at the desk, Sean Ringgold, Aaliyah Serrano. No strangers to the desk here. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
So this past week, you made the transition from the indoor season to the outdoor season. How did it feel to be able to compete there outdoor?
I really miss being outdoor. Outdoor has always been my favorite season, so it felt really good to be back on the track outside again.
Yeah, definitely. I got tired of being indoors. Even though we still had to go against every element possible for the first meet, but it feels good to be back outdoors.
Yeah, an interesting point you make there because, yeah, it seemed like you had all 4 seasons in one day of the outdoor track meet. What do you have to do mentality-wise, though, to deal with that, to be able to get your warm-ups, to be able to compete in your events when the weather is obviously not cooperating?
I really just focus on God throughout any meet, throughout any race, because He's the only one who could really take me through any race. I run on His glory and only His glory, because,
You kind of just got to be prepared for whatever the elements throw at you, because you don't know if they're going to cancel the meet, delay it, or you kind of just got to be ready. So we were out there warming up, getting hit in the head with hail, snow, rain. You kind of just got to be ready for it, no matter what.
So let's talk about your races. Let's start with the relays. First of all, how did it feel to get back into a relay, and then talk me through those performances?
It was really exhilarating, and it felt really good. We do have to fix some things, but that's okay, and we're going to be really good. We're already really good.
I haven't ran a relay, 4x1 since maybe 2019. So that's the first one that we ran, and that was the first 4x1 for the men since about 2013. So that was actually really fun to get out there with the guys that run that for the first time in such a long time.
So for that to really kind of set the tone for the rest of the race, or for the rest of the meet rather, how important is it to have a good kind of first thing to set the tone? Because there's a lot of things that are mental, so to have that kind of mental goal of being successful in that first event, especially when it's a group event, how does that set the tone?
It's kind of a morale booster going into the rest of the events, because as soon as we got there, we immediately had to warm up because the first event was at 10 o'clock and that was the 4x1. So it kind of just sets the tone and just a great boost of confidence. Like, yeah, we just finished this, we warmed up efficiently, no one got hurt. Let's just continue that for the rest of the meet.
Yeah, it really felt good getting the first relay out of the way too, because after that, then I think it calmed my nerves after, so then I was ready to compete for all the rest of my events too.
So from the 4x1, let's go to the 100, and yeah, that first straight off sprint a little longer now than you used to.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Do you feel that extra 40 there in that, and specifically the first one of the outdoor season?
not really actually. It just feels, every time I run actually, I kind of blur out. So it felt just like a 60 to me. So.
Oh, that 100 was long. I felt like I was running for a minute out there. But it was fun finally being into a 100 meters to 60, because I don't get top speed in a 60 meters.
Yeah.
So in 100, the second half of the race is normally my best half anyway.
So both of you really successful days there with the 100. Ties your PR in the 100 and back on that record board.
Yeah.
You go, Aaliyah. So talk me through that, when you're able to find that success early in the season, very early in the season. And again, I talked a lot about the motivation and that kind of aspect of it, but really to be able to find that success and yet still see that there are things to improve on and to work better and get better at, how much do you put into that? The fact that the first one was really successful and there's still room to grow.
Want to take it?
No, go ahead.
Firstly, it's just like you can always improve on no matter what it is, whether it's from the start, form, closing. There's always something that you're not perfect on that you have to work on. But just going into that first event and tying my PR, it's still a confidence booster going into the rest of the season because I have a lot to make up for from indoors, so I plan on proving that again on outdoors.
Just really not being too comfortable because I did have a new personal best, but there's so much more I need to improve and get to, so that's where I look at it.
Hey, for not a personal best and still being third all time at Mansfield, that's pretty good, I'd say.
Thank you.
So then let's switch to the 200s, and talk me through those races. What did you see there?
We had to run into the wind on the curve, so that was a lot harder. And then it also was just hailing like crazy before the before the 200 meter. So I was cold, but I mean it was a good race, and I felt good running it.
Yeah, like she said, we were still warming up in the hail and rain and everything else. So we were kind of just still had to be prepared. 13 heats is a lot of heat for the men, and the women had at least 10 heats.
Yeah,
10
we had
heats.
10 heats.
So waiting, constantly waiting, and just having to keep your body warm so you don't cool down.
Yep.
Just execute a successful race.
Is that more wearing on the mind as to waiting for your heat as opposed to waiting for your event? Is it a different kind of waiting? That's an odd question, but like, is it a different kind of mental strain?
Yeah, I'd say it is because normally if you're just waiting for your event to come up, you know what time you have to warm up. But when they have 13 heat, now you're not warming up at that exact time. You're waiting probably extra 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so you're not just sitting there on the sidelines cooling down.
I agree. It was just a long wait, and you really just want to get out there and just run your race. Yeah.
So looking forward to this weekend, Millersville is going to be the site for the conference championship. So once again, you guys have the opportunity to look at or to get a feel for the same track that will be the site of the championship. And I'll ask this question again. I asked this to you guys in the winter season, but how much weight do you put into that experience on that track?
Just having, like you said, having that experience on the track for conference is a big thing. You get to look at the entire area. How does the track feel? How the field is? It's almost like a little snapshot of just how it's going to be when you're there for that event.
I think it just mentally and physically prepares you more, and you just feel more comfortable because we're going to already be running on the track. So when we come back, we're going to be ready to go.
So looking forward to the rest of the season, what are your kind of goals for this season and things you want to accomplish this year?
Break a few more records, actually qualify for nationals this time around. I feel like indoor was kind of hard to do it, especially like running the tight turns in the 200, so I have a better shot at doing it outdoor. So that's the plan for that one.
Defend that title in the 200.
Definitely defend the title.
I would say just to get on the record board and really try and make it for nationals as well. Yeah,
and it should be a fun season. I know you guys are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank
you for having us.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not go anywhere. And that's going to do it for this week, folks. To stay up to date on all things Mansfield Athletics, head over to GoMounties.com. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.